let's not have fun. Imagine my shock at the news that Paul Joseph Watson apparently went on a racist tirade that has been leaked to the public. And when I say a racist tirade, I can tell you that I listened to it off stream.
Nigger faggot activists who get in my way in London and stick signs up in my face trying to get me to join the gay faggot Palestinian cause. I don't give a shit about Israel or Palestine. I care about white people and not sand nigger packy Jew faggot coons. Yeah? I'll leave you with that. I really think that you should press the button to wipe Jews off the face of the earth.
But I can't play it on stream. And the reason why I can't play it off on stream is because Paul Joseph Watson was able to fit as many racial slurs and epithets in the smallest amount of time possible. Like he shot off 7 in 10 seconds. It unironically, I gotta say it was actually impressive how much he was able to get done in such a short amount of time. I don't say that with admiration. I just say that more as a set of, because I'm bewildered by how much he really just was punching into the air, speaking in private. I know and that's when you know somebody's really racist, right? It's when it's not live and performative, because some people will be unironically, there are people who just hype up racism while in public in order to get more support from racist people, and then in private they'll tone it down massively. And I know that's wild to hear, but that's 100% true. And you'll be really I know that might be surprising to hear. But he tones it up, he turns it up to 11. When the Richard Spencer audio leaked and we were okay, that's pretty racist. And it was old style villain racist. He was we used to enslave the black people and they were our slaves. It was so great. It was the most weird, old style kind of almost cartoony villain racism. This was speed running racism, right? If there was a racism meta and for speed running, Paul Joseph Watson has mastered it. If you listen to the audio, he shoots off 20 in a row and then follows those 7 or 8 slurs with a call to genocide. I mean, he was getting the chaos emeralds of racism and gathering them all together. Okay. So anyway, let's actually read the article, because here's the headline that popped into my feed. Basically 2 or 3 hours before filming. Actually 2 hours before filming. New YouTuber Paul Joseph Watson helped popularize the phrase "new right." In recent audio verified by Byline Times, Watson unloads racial epithets and talks about wiping Jews off the face of the earth, showing what's underneath the branding. Can I also say that Paul Joseph Watson runs probably one of the most popular conservative YouTube channels out there, and of course was for a very long time. I don't know if he might still be. I don't really check in on him like that. He might still be a correspondent for InfoWars. I know he used to be. He was either a correspondent or a very, very, very frequent guest. I'm pretty sure he was a correspondent. Let's actually read exactly what he said. Well, we're not going to read exactly what he said because I want to keep my Twitch account, but let's decode exactly what he said. My goodness. Far-right YouTuber and former InfoWars editor, there it is, Paul Joseph Watson, said he would like Jewish people to be wiped off the face of the earth in an exclusive recording obtained by the Byline Times. In the recording, made during a party and shared with the newspaper by an anonymous source, 39-year-old Watson can be heard saying, "I really think you should press the button to wipe Jews off the face of the earth." The recording was confirmed by 3 secondary sources. Byline Times contacted Watson and his lawyers with numerous requests for comment, but received no response. Let me read it before I talk about this, that he didn't respond to it, although they reached out multiple times. Watson used a string of racist and homophobic epithets and claims that he is sick of media F-slur activists sticking signs up in my face trying to get me to join the gay F-slur Palestinian cause. I don't give a shit about Israel and Palestine. I care about white people, not sand, N-word, Jew, and then it's a slur for Pakistanis, F slurs, and then the C word. This is it. He's hitting. This is all like how many stones did Thanos have? He had like 5, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, and he did like the 2 F slurs up here. He's got like at least 6 or 7 stones. It's actually impressive what exactly he's collected here. One secondary source said they had heard Watson make similar comments on other occasions. The recording was also shared on social media as the Byline Times was compiling the report. Despite being part of the alt-right movement that has often repeated anti-Semitic conspiracies, Watson had a quote from the Jewish Voice New York on his Twitter profile and has been defended by right-wing Jewish bloggers as not being anti-Semitic. Jewish Voice New York told Byline Times that it never endorsed Paul Joseph Watson. And then it goes into like the alt-right and the history of the alt-right and the prison planet and et cetera, and how Paul Joseph Watson has 1.9 million subscribers on YouTube, 1.2 million on Twitter, et cetera, right? He has a huge influence. And it keeps going into it. But we don't need to read all of this, okay? This is the important part. Okay, so the first thing is, I listened to the clip. It is him in the clip. It's not somebody pretending to be him. It's not fake. It's not, we're not going to find out like after all of this like passes by that this was some big scheme. It's very obviously Paul Joseph Watson. Okay, and the fact that they reached out to him a few times and he didn't want to comment, I think, shows that he might not want to, give this any air, give this any attention. I think he might be choosing a strategy of, la 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 la, I can't hear you, I don't know what you're talking about. But he was very serious in the audio, to me at least, right? Because I'm trying to think how this what kind of rope could I give him here, right? Is there like a joke? So is there a punchline? Is there like a I listened to the audio and it's just very clearly he's just like stacking as many slurs as possible and it's almost like if somebody told me, Dylan, be as racist and sexist and homophobic as physically possible in the shortest amount of time. This is the type of audio you would probably expect to get out of that experience, right? Because that's what it feels like. It's absolutely crazy. He shoots at every community at the same time. I just don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what to say. So, but besides the very obvious racism and homophobia, I want to talk about 2 things. Number 1, him not commenting on it, right? Even though it's been confirmed by multiple sources and they've got the audio. So I think the strategy might be just don't pay it any mind, don't pay it any attention, and maybe it'll blow over. I don't know if that'll work or not, if people will pay attention to this, or if it'll get basically no airtime whatsoever online. But let's say it does. I wonder what he's going to say. What could his response be? Legitimately, if you were him, what would you even say? I guess the safest route for him would be, haha, I was memeing. But you listen to the audio, there's no joke there. There's not a punchline. He's just ranting about genociding the Jews and how he hates the gays and black people and the Jews and Pakistanis. There's not a punchline. He was hacked. What do you mean he was hacked? How could he use that as an excuse? It's audio. He said it. Unless he would say, I was hypnotized. I was tricked. I was giving everybody an example of what the most racist man in America would sound like. Well, maybe not in America, in Great Britain. Actually, for once, can I say, I'm a patriotic American. This isn't one of ours. British people, this is your fault once again, okay? So once again, W for America. Once again, L for the British. Take the L. This guy's your fault, okay? Great. Red, white, and blue, USA all the way. 1776 will commence again. Back-to-back World War champs, woo-woo, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. I have no clue how he's going to respond to this. I guess like the strategy he's using right now is to just ignore it. Maybe we can go check his Twitter and see if he's looked at it. Actually, let's do that right now. Has he released a statement? I'm unbelievably curious. Let's go look him up. Paul Joseph Watson. Anything? Here it is. Nope. Just no, and it's not. I mean, like, no, just like nothing. Okay, no. The strategy is just ignore it, I guess. Okay, absolutely nothing. Maybe he will release a statement in the near future. As of 4 hours ago, he retweeted, or probably not even 4 hours ago, probably around 3 to 2. He retweeted Mike Cernovich. No response from him yet. Maybe that'll change in the near future. If he did respond, and this is on YouTube, it'll be up around here, his response. If there's nothing up on screen, then he has yet to respond. But I mean, I don't know if like ignoring it will exactly play out, because I mean, he really did buckshot with this one. I mean, let me ask you guys a question, okay? Let me ask you a question based in your faith in your fellow human. Do you think his audience would care? Like, legitimately. Let me ask you. Do you think his audience would care? Most of you are saying no. I would say, oh gosh, maybe I'm being too cruel with this, but I would say the majority of his audience wouldn't care. I think there's people in there that would care. I'm sure there's a few, like, you know, Jewish people in his community who are like, wait a second, this is not what I signed up for. I thought it was the other people. And I doubt the majority of his audience wants to kill all the Jews. Maybe I have too much faith in my humanity. I assume the majority of his audience doesn't want to kill all the Jews, but I'm sure, like, if he said something like it was a joke, I think they would probably just buy it, right? I don't know. Maybe they can prove me wrong here, but I don't know. Like, I would just, I feel like the majority is probably not going to care that much. I'm sure some will, of course. So it'll have some effect. It'll hurt his reputation somewhat. I'm sure that's the case. But I have yet to really believe that this is going to be like a career ender for him. Definitely, since this is somebody who bathed himself with people like Alex Jones and the alt-right before, the quote-unquote new right. So I doubt any of that core audience is really going to really flow away, right? I doubt we're going to see a mass unsubscribe campaign around him. I doubt that's going to happen, okay? Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I doubt that's going to be the case. So that's the first thing I want to address, that I don't know if he's really going to have any consequences due to this being leaked. So that's the first thing. Second thing I want to acknowledge, listen to what he says here. I don't give a shit about Israel and Palestine. I care about white people, not sand N-word Jew. Then he uses an epithet for Pakistanis. F-slur, C words, right? And he uses the COO word, not the CUNT word, right? Again, can't say it, Twitch. I care about white people. This is a little direct, isn't it? I mean, like, this is like pretty like obvious evidence that not only is he racist, but he's like a white nationalist, right? Like, if I was to come out and say my politics is determinate upon love for my race and a caring for my race, that is just white nationalism, right? And I'm going to be honest, if he's punching down on the other races, it's not just white nationalism, it's white supremacy, right? Can I just say, for me, I feel like white supremacy and white nationalism is like loser hours. And I don't know, for me, like, okay, so when it comes to like things to be proud in, right? I would say my own achievements is at the top of that list, right? Obviously, right? Top of that list, my own achievements. Down that list would be achievements of groups I work in and organizations I work in. If I work in an organization and I've contributed to that work and we get an achievement, boom, I can somewhat attribute that achievement to myself. Then, right, maybe like I would probably put family above that, like familial achievements, just things that the family was able to do. And then down here, probably like achievements of the nation state. Like the United States got to the moon. I pay taxes. That contributed to the moon landing. I'm proud to be an American. We did that. On nowhere on this list could I put like white people, you know? Because I don't pay like a white people tax or contribute to like the white, like the white fund or the white commune or the white coal mining mission, the white discovery mission. There's not like a thing that's like, ah, man, you know, white people really all got together and did this, you know? So I don't know why I would, I'm sorry, I'm opening my Pepsi bottle. Why would I care about, at any point, about my race in that way? Like should really care about it. What I should care about is what I do in my own life, my own achievements, the achievements of my family, the achievements of organizations I work for, and the achievements of my nation state, and probably state government as well, right? Local governments. Why should I care of basically anything outside of that? Especially things that I don't really contribute to, things that were just given to me at birth, right? The only other thing I could think of is if somebody's like punching down at something that is part of my identity, finding pride in that as a counterbalance, right? In a perfect world, I wouldn't feel proud of like, I don't know, being attracted to men or attracted to women or attracted to anyone. In a perfect world, I don't even think there would be gay pride parades, right? Because there would be no reason to be proud of being gay. There'd be no reason to be proud of being trans. There'd be no reason to be proud of being bisexual because there would be nobody telling you you can't, it's bad to be those things. So in a perfect world, it would just be like, oh, you're this, who gives a fuck? Mind your own business, right? So that's the only other thing outside of that I could imagine finding pride in, but that's not because I contributed to something. It's more as like a counterbalance, right? A counterbalance to shame that society's trying to place on that. But at no level would I put like whiteness or my race in that. Like I find it to be kind of like loser behavior to find some pride in your race. And I would say like a decent chunk of the people who are proud of their race, I think might say it's because people like down talk my race all the time, so I find race pride in it as a counterbalance. But even then, I don't know, man. If somebody asked me like genuinely, Dylan, are you proud to be like queer in any way? Not really. I don't find a pride in it. Like really, I don't find like a deep pride in it. I don't find a pride in being white, or pride of having like German or Irish heritage. I don't find pride in it whatsoever. I just see it as a trait I have and a trait other people have, and we sometimes face issues for that, and so we need to organize around that in order to stop those issues. But I don't really find pride in it. And I don't know, is that a controversial thing to say, that I don't find pride in my sexuality? It's just a thing, you know? Either way, like I can never understand somebody like coming out and saying my main political issue is white. It just doesn't make any sense. You were given that. That is something that was bestowed upon you. Why would this be like the main thing you care about or find pride in? It was given to you and then you didn't contribute to it. Like you can contribute to a nation state. You can't contribute to a race. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, man, all I can say is Paul Joseph Watson, imagine my shock is racist. Paul Joseph Watson, imagine my shock is homophobic. Paul Joseph Watson, imagine my shock is a white nationalist. He's, as seems to be at the moment, just ignoring the news. Let's see if that changes in the near future. This is a guy with over 1.9 million subscribers on YouTube. Huge reach, huge influence. Hopefully people know this moving forward, so they can, when they hear his name, they just remember, oh, that's the very racist white nationalist guy. That's the white supremacist guy. Imagine my shock. Imagine my shock.